What is up, YouTube? Adam here. Today's video is in response to a question I've received from a subscriber. The subscriber says, "Dear Adam, I use Vim for everything. I know MATLAB and Python, and I'm currently programming in C++ on my MacBook Pro. Do you have a suggested workflow for these types of projects? I've tried the Atom editor, and I find it clunky. Subscribed viewer, Clint." Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is open up a web browser and head to google.com. And then search for MacVim. The GitHub link is the first one. We'll just go ahead and click on that. And that will take you to the GitHub page. We want the website, however, and that link is at the top. Then we need to download the latest binary release. From here, you're going to want to download macvim.dmg. So I'm going to cancel the download because I already have it installed. Once it's downloaded, just follow the installation instructions by dragging the icon into your applications folder. So if we navigate to the applications folder, you can see this is what the icon looks like. If you double click it, the editor launches. However, I'm not a big fan of this approach to running Vim. I prefer to run Vim through the ZSH terminal, so I'm just going to quit. Just a quick note, I use ZSH. Likely, your default shell is bash. Instead of using ZSHRC, use bashrc. You'll see what I mean. So I'm in a folder that I created right off my home directory called YouTube. So we are just going to take a look at my ZSHRC. At the very bottom, and I'll zoom in here so you can see this, we can see the alias that I've set for Vim. It points to the file path where MacVim is installed. /applications/macvim.app/contents/macOS/Vim. This alias sets the terminal editor to be MacVim as opposed to Vim. And then I always like to alias VI back to Vim. And so those two commands should be pretty much everything you need to run MacVim from the terminal. Now when you type VI in a console, we see Vim, VI improved. And we see the version listed here. Now I'm going to show you how to set up your vimrc. The first thing you want to do if you already have a vimrc is to back it up as follows. Copy vimrc, and I'll just copy mine to the desktop. So this way we don't have to worry about overriding any settings in our vimrc. So let's head to Google real quick and search for FISA Vim. It's a really great Vim configuration that works pretty much out of the box. So click installation instructions, and really all you need to do is download the vimrc. So I'll copy the link and use curl in the terminal to accomplish this task. And make sure you save it to home/vimrc. I'm not going to do that because I already set up FISA Vim. Once you've done that, you can run Nerdtree. It's really awesome because you can use all the built-ins with Vim and never have to leave the terminal to navigate your project files. So now, let's make a little example project just to show you how to use all of these tools. If I want to open a current working directory, I can say vi dot. This opens the Nerdtree view. As we can see, our subscriber question is here. If you navigate down to the file using JK keys to navigate, Nerdtree will open the file and hide the view of the directory after you press enter. But this isn't what we're looking for, so how do we get back to Nerdtree? If you press T, Nerdtree will pop out on the left side of the editor. If you want to add a new file, press M to bring up the menu. The menu is pretty much self-explanatory, so I'll leave it to you to explore all of the available options. A is add a child node. If the file you're creating is a directory, for instance, directory, then you need to end the line with a slash. Otherwise, Nerdtree will create a file as opposed to a directory. So let's create a file, main.cpp. And so now in Nerdtree, we'll make sure that the cursor is highlighting this file and press enter. Now we'll just make a little hello world program. So now the question is, how do we run this program without leaving our workflow? In Vim, if you're not in insert mode, you can press Shift and semicolon and then type shell commands by escaping with the exclamation point, also referred to as the bang symbol. For instance, bang ls will list all the files in the current working directory. But that's not really a useful command. One thing we could do is compile the program using bang g++ main.cpp. And now the question is, how do we run it? Well, we'd have to escape again and type /a.out. And here we can see it runs the executable, hello world. Now, there's actually a better way using Makefiles. If you haven't checked out my video on Makefiles and unit testing, I highly encourage it, but it's not required to follow along. So we'll type "T" to get back into Nerdtree. And we're going to create a new file just like we created main. This time we'll call it Makefile. So to have both files open in the same screen, you can type S. If you type S, the screen will be vertically split between the two files. So we'll just make a really simple Makefile. So now when we type :make, we can see the exact same thing happens as compiling via escape sequence. We can also run it by creating a test command. So now when you type make test, it runs it. Honestly though, the output is a little cluttered and I'd like for the screen to be cleared each time I run it. So the solution is, right before running the executable, we will clear the screen. Save and type make, and we can see the executable is compiled. If we then type make test, the screen is cleared and the executable is run. Nice and clean, never leaving the terminal. So now that we've made our Makefile, you don't need to keep the file open to use this handy trick. So let's change our output to say hello Vim. Type make to compile, make test to clear the screen and run our executable. If you'd like to take it a step further, use "T" to get back to Nerdtree. Then, on Makefile, press I for a horizontal split. Let's just go ahead before we clear the screen and we'll type make. So now, all we have to do to navigate our workflow is type make test. And we'll change the output just so you can see it happen all in one go. Compile Vim. And that's pretty much it. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. If you head back to Nerdtree and open a bunch of windows and you're having trouble navigating between these windows, press "-". This generates options to navigate your internal windows. So if you wanted to get back to main, you just type B. And that's the workflow that I use for Vim and C++.